Yeah, back after a few days. I've hope everyone is okay. Here in Peru, not so great. A few updates here just published today. They will reinstate the total curfew on Sundays again. So we are not allowed to go out at all on Sundays. Yeah, that is a bit of a drag. Means no running on Sundays. And the other thing that has been announced also, and I think this is like on an immediate basis, is that no social gatherings of any sort. That means that you are not allowed to go and see your family or your friends. And there has been for a long time now, a nightly curfew at 10 o'clock. But since it's sort of is a little bit freer to do business and so forth, people have been loosening up on their guard somewhat, right? So there are birthday parties, there are friends getting together for a beer, for talk, family dinner, and so forth. So in order to get rid of these social interactions, uh, they put this total quarantine on Sundays throughout the country, and this social gatherings, any type of social gathering, birthday parties, confirmation, well, church is obviously out as well, but and I understand that this will probably also affect restaurants to some extent. You're not allowed to go big parties. What this means for me also is that there is like no way that I will be able to do any birding at all with in the parks or whatever. Um, that would be seen as a social interaction, and I cannot promote that. I just think it's impossible. So again, I'm down to like no ways of getting any income even here in Peru. I don't know how long this is going to last. Hopefully not too long. So hopefully it loosens up a little bit so we are able to travel within the country. But the numbers are going up. There are areas in Peru where there are getting to full capacity at their intensive care units. So and they don't have any beds. And I think Lima is still okay, but there are many parts where it's absolutely not good at all. So actions are needed. There was a little bit of rumors. I saw some rumors this morning, but it hasn't been confirmed. So I'll take it very lightly that we were supposed to get into another sort of full quarantine from Monday, but that does not seem to be happening. So hopefully that is not the case, and hopefully these measures will actually be enough to sort of get the trend down again. It was very good during all of July. It was very stable with sort of the same amount of new cases every day, and meanwhile there were more people sort of getting over the disease and declared healthy again. And so we had like a negative number. It was going down, right? Since then, the number of cases per day or per week rather has doubled since July. So it's not looking that great. On the other hand, yeah, a lot of news about vaccines coming out now with Russia, and Trump is saying he's got his as well. They're talking about vaccines here in Peru as well. So maybe there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Crazy times. Yeah, I've been starting like a new little type of game here of virtual birding, and if you saw my last vlog, you remember I had these polls for my 1,000 Birds project. I'm trying to figure out which are the 1,000 best birds in the world, and I was asking for your help when it came to plovers and lapwings. That one has finished now. There was it was like 9 birds that were already sort of nominated by default by being just plain beautiful and and sort of on everyone's bucket list, plus the endangered ones, right? And those were tawny-throated dotterel, diadem sandpiper plover, Eurasian dotterel, southern red-breasted plover, rufous-chested plover, shore plover, and rufous-chested, wrybill, sociable lapwing as well. And then people were voting up, and that contest has ended now. So Northern Lapwing won. That golden plover was second. And so that was a bit surprising to me that these were so popular among people. Both of them are, of course, in the Austin Singer Birds of the World, which is the Bible in terms of getting these 1,000 birds. Or at least the pictures there has sort of blown me away when I was a kid. And I had like sort of a secret goal that I wanted to see all the birds that were depicted in that book, because then I thought that I'd seen all the birds in the world. That was not quite the case. But as it turns out now, I was thinking that people would actually go for the more rarer birds in the first place, but they were actually going for birds that were quite popular, so or common, but nevertheless nice birds. Yeah. So I probably have to redefine a little bit how to select the 1,000 birds, and I may ask you for more help further on. I did a similar one on gulls as well, gulls and terns. And again, I had quite a few that were already sort of by default selected, like Inca tern and ivory gull and swallowtail gull, Ross's gull, white tern, noddies, skimmers, any skimmers. Those were already sort of by default on the list. And the winner on the gulls were actually Pallas's gull. And that was one that I voted for myself. But second and third was Heermann's gull in the US or on the West Coast, and little gull, European gull. Again, a bit surprising. Birds that didn't really make it were things like Locust gull. And I'm a little bit sad to see that one of my favorites did not make it. The black-bellied tern, which is endangered. I may put that on anyway, because I do put on the endangered birds. So that may be on the 1,000 birds anyway. Another one that I was routed for, that I had originally just put as any kittiwake. Well, people said, well, the red-legged is like one of the best birds. I really would like to see that. So in the end, I sort of split them up, which consequently led to that none of them was actually nominated. But I may include the kittiwake anyway. I'll sum up the votes there for both and see whether that will actually make any difference. I'll see what comes out of this in the end. But meanwhile, if you remember on my last vlog here, I was telling you about a nice game that we've been starting called the Hummingbird World Cup 2020. And now it is the shootout between all the threatened, the endangered, and the critically endangered species. We have among those, of course, marvelous battletails sort of in the lead, but there are quite a few, and it's a nice little game you can do on Facebook. It is on the group called 363 Hummingbirds. So if you are not a member, make sure that you become a member, and then you will see what's going on that, and you can also cast your votes, right? So that's always nice. That will go on until Saturday, and then on Sunday I'm starting like the real World Cup, and I will be taking 16 birds from the previous poll that we did with a selected number of hummingbirds that I thought that should maybe be nominated as among the 1,000 bests, but there were just too many, so we had to narrow down the list a little bit. So we have 16 from those, playing against 16 that are selected from the critically endangered and the endangered categories by BirdLife International. So check that out, 363 hummingbirds. And I've started this week. Here's the idea. You all know that I'm very keen on this idea about bucket list birding, like putting certain birds as main targets on your trips, and not looking so much at the large numbers. Of course, yeah, I'm a hardcore birder at heart, but that's me. I think there's a big market out there of people who are actually more interested in seeing the good and the best birds rather than seeing every little tapaculo, Philoscopus, or cisticola, or pipit, or whatever little brown jobs you have in your countries. And so if you concentrate on the birds that really sort of count for most people, and that also includes not only the very experienced birders, but also the people that just start out. Similarly as myself, when I was, thumbing through this book when I was a kid and was looking at, I want to see that one, I want to see that one, because they were beautiful pictures. And so those were things that made people get into birds in those days, by looking at these table books and just being very amazing pictures, either photos or illustrations, and you sort of dream away that you want to go and see those. Well, the same thing is happening now with Instagram and with Facebook and YouTube, of course. So people are seeing all these great birds, and they sort of say, I want to see that one, I want to see that one, right? So that is also the business idea behind Seven Wonders Birding. And I've started a group on Facebook. It's not very big yet, but maybe it will be. And it's simply called Bucket List Birding. The idea is a little bit that this is a vehicle for my business, but also a discussion group. This group, the Bucket List Birding group, I've started a sort of seeing what people have on their bucket list. So if you have your 10 best birds that you have seen, and the 10 best birds that you want to see, 10 birds on your bucket list, right? Your main targets. Well, that would be kind of interesting to see. It's like a survey, so we will see what the priorities are for people, and maybe we can set up tours around that as well. But anyway, check out the group. The listing is a lot of fun. It's called Bucket List Birding. I'm sure you find it. And if you're not a member yet, become a member. And I'm very keen to see what your top birds are and what your top birds were, the ones you have already seen. Next on item here on my list, I'm trying to figure out some other means of income, and you may remember I started an Amazon shop. It gives a very small commission. I think it's like 5% or 6% or something like that on things that I recommend there. And I can't say that that's doing that great. So why would I even think about starting an online business? I don't know, but I've been reading up on a few of these things called Shopify, and also starting an Amazon shop account, a place where I'm actually like an authorized seller. I've been selling Vortex binoculars here in Peru for a long time. I may be able to do that also on, like opening an Amazon shop. I don't know. It could be a possibility. I'm also thinking about getting digiscoping adapters. I know there's a brand in the US that is very popular called PhoneScope, and it looks absolutely fabulous. However, a bit tricky here in Peru, and I don't think really that it would be that big of a market for it. So I've been looking around, and I've been finding a product that is selling on Amazon.com, and I found a factory that are making those, and I'm thinking of importing them to Peru. But maybe I can also put them out on my own Amazon account if I would do that. And it's about half price compared to the PhoneScope adapter, and it works on any phone and any scope. It's probably not as neat, but as I said, half price. If you change phone, if you change scope, if you have several different scopes, And even if you maybe go from you don't have a scope, but maybe you go on an excursion, someone else has have one, well, you can easily put your thing on there, right? So maybe that's an idea. Would you be interested in buying this if I would put it out there for sale? I think it's about Amazon is selling it right now for 36, but I've seen that the price is going up to like 45 next week, in 2 weeks. So yeah, that could be a little online business for me. Could work. I don't know. You tell me. Right, I've been doing a little bit of reading. My good friend from Sweden, Bengt-Göran Svantesson, also known as just Svante. He's a big fan of Nordic Noir, so am I. And he was suggesting I should read Jo Nesbø. And I had read something with him before, but now I started like from zero. And then all of a sudden Svante says, well, you should read this other book, which is not in the Harry Hole series, but rather a freestanding, not having anything to do with it, with the others, and it's called The Headhunters. And it was a short book of only some 200 pages, and it was absolutely brilliant. It was one of the best Nordic Noir things I read in my whole life, I must say. Thank you, Svante. It was absolutely fantastic. And so I asked Svante yesterday, I said, did they make a film out of this? And he said, well, I said they should make a film out of this. And he said they already have. And so now I secured a film, I've downloaded it, and I will very soon start watching that with my wife. So we're looking forward to a night looking at this movie called Headhunters. Check it out, it's really good. And so and there is I will post a link to that also in my Amazon shop, right? So you go to amazon.com/shop and /Engblom.Gunnar, and you will find it right there. All right, so yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I also I mentioned the last time here also, I've been enjoying Charlie Hesse's and Ken Behrens's podcast, Naturally Adventurous, and it's now come to number 3, and they may have posted another one today, I'm not sure, but check that out if you haven't done that on podcast. They are actually doing like a top 10 birds that they have seen or experiences that they have seen, and of course yeah, there's some fantastic stories. They're just amazing. And so I thoroughly have enjoyed the first 3 ones. I'm looking forward to episode number 4. And yeah, that was about it for this time. I'll talk to you next time, and see you here later. Take care now. Bye.